Okay, good evening, everybody. We are here with Miss Letitia Rivers. Hello, Letitia, and thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule, I should say, to stop by the Adams Brothers podcast and to tell us about your book. Good evening, Letitia.
Good evening. How are you guys doing tonight? Hello, everyone.
We are
Doing
doing
good.
well. We're
Nice
doing
to have
good.
you on our podcast.
Yes, thank you. Thank you guys for the invite. Thank you.
You are absolutely welcome. So why don't we just go ahead on and just let you introduce yourself. Tell us about Letitia Rivers. Tell us about you and where you're from and all that good stuff and what you have going on with your books.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm Letitia Rivers. I'm a purpose coach. I am a two-time author of Birthing My Greatness, and a 365-day journal, which is You Are What You Breathe. I am a Christian, a woman of God. My full-time job, I like to say, my part-time, probably no job, would be dentistry. And I am super excited about birthing greatness in everyone I come in contact with, and super excited about sharing my journey and birthing greatness with everyone I come in contact with.
Okay. So Birthing Your Greatness was your first book that you put out. And I know I've been following you on social media, and I was watching you and when you put out your book, and man, I'll tell you, due to the COVID, I didn't really get a chance to come out and support you like I wanted to. So we wanted you to come on the podcast and tell us about your first book, Birthing Your Greatness. So tell us all about Birthing Your Greatness.
I tell you what, Darryl, tell me, what is it that you want to hear about it?
Well, Birthing Your Greatness, how did you come up with the name Birthing Your Greatness? Where did that come from?
Oh my gosh. So I believe we had this side conversation, and it was that thing with ordained and purpose. And I tell you, the name, the title of Birthing My Greatness, a lot of folk ask that question is, how did you come up with that name? And up until today, I cannot tell you the detail and the exact of how I came up with Birthing My Greatness. I'm going to tell you. The only thing that I can tell or I can say to you guys is that going through my journey of my divorce and being rebirthed, and at the time that I was, this is so amazing, at the time that I was being rebirthed is when I discovered the name Birthing My Greatness. And that I had already started writing Birthing My Greatness, the book, just didn't have a title for the book. And I was at my office one day, and it came to me, Birthing Greatness. And Birthing My Greatness, it just was a correlation to myself. And that's how I came up with the name of Birthing My Greatness. It was definitely, I would say, a ordained process by God. In the name of that book, naming that book.
Right. So after your divorce, I guess that, that kind of, did that inspire you to want to write a book after you got divorced?
Well, it didn't inspire me to want to write a book. It inspired me to tell my story, to share my journey with people. And I remember going through the process of the divorce, and I said, listen, going through something as traumatic as my divorce, and then I say the divorce from my children, I knew it was a story to tell, but how that story was going to be told, I had no idea. Right. You understand? Right. And writing it and putting it in a book, I knew that it was it was a story to tell, but not in a book per se. You see? And as the journey went forth is when I realized that this is a story and it must be told. And by telling it, it had to be formatted in a book form, and it would be more of an inspiration than actually a direct story of my life. So Birthing My Greatness is an indirect story of my life. it's the faith that it's the faith in God and trust in the process that there's greater, bigger than what we see, bigger than what we're going through.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And how do you balance writing, kind of separate giving out too many details about your personal life? How do you find that balance there?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
How do you find the balance of when you wrote about your divorce, about not giving too many personal details about that? How did you balance that?
You know, this is really bad because I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
Okay, can you hear me now, Letitia?
I can hear you just a little, but yeah.
Yeah, how did you come about to balance not giving out too many personal details coming from your divorce?
Oh, goodness gracious. How was I able to write Birthing My Greatness without giving direct information in the
That's
story
right.
about my journey? Huh?
Yeah, yes. Too many, a lot, not giving a lot of personal details out
A lot
about
of
what.
personal. Yes. How did I do that is I truly believe that in the process of writing Birthing My Greatness, I wanted people to understand that it wasn't about me. It was more of the spiritual. And how did I separate that from my direct personal experience in my divorce and telling the uh, uh, direct experience going through that divorce is by keeping in mind that through the process of it all, it was the one thing that stuck with me the most, and that was that voice that I kept hearing with keep going, keep moving, don't give up. And when I think about that voice, even now today, it penetrates through my soul, and I really truly believe it was the voice of God speaking to me that there's a bigger purpose at the end. And in the process of writing Birthing My Greatness, I wanted folk to understand, and women in particular, that it's not about me, it's about the faith and the supernatural abilities that God set forth just by having that small bit of faith, and what they like to call that mustard seed of faith, right? And I wanted folk to understand the powers, the supernatural powers that God set forth in our lives just by enduring the storm. And that's what it's about, is being connected, staying connected with God, staying connected with his word, and that I can do all things even in the midst of the storm. Just endure. I always like to correlate my experience, my journey and my divorce with quicksand. And I remember going through the process, and I said it's a slow and steady process. I have to be strategic with the plan. I have to be intentional with the process. And that's what kept me going. So I always like to tell folk is don't try to move quick, because moving too fast, you can fail. Moving too fast, you can sink. And once you sink, it's a harder process to come out. Just move strategically. Have a plan.
And when you were writing your book, how many hours a day did you write?
That I invest in writing this book. And Birthing My Greatness, I'm going to tell you, I am a person that loves to journal, right? I write my thoughts, and I think for me, that's my healing place, right? And why did I say that? That's a place where I can go to identify who I am and what I'm processing, so that I'm able to dissect and go through the process and pull out a positive in it, because we know that we can always think of the negative, right? So
Right.
I've already invested time in writing my story, which is my thoughts and my journey through life in general. So I would say I think best at night. And what that means to you guys is I would be up from, say, 7 o'clock at night until 4 and 5 o'clock in the mornings. And that's writing. And I can get lost in that writing process. And just the thought process and the greatness of God, I get lost in that and not knowing the time that I've invested, right? So I would say writing Birthing My Greatness, I would give it about a good, let's say 100 hours, right? And that's 100 hours of just prior, before even with the thought of writing the book, and just putting things together, just putting pieces and bits and pieces together, and keeping in mind that through all things, keeping God at the forefront. Yeah.
So we know about Birthing Your Greatness. That was your first book that you wrote. And you also have another book that you put out, and it's called You Are What You Breathe. It's a 365-day inspirational journal. Tell us about You Are What You Breathe.
Now,
Anything you want to, what inspired you to, when I shouldn't say inspired you, what, how should I say this? What made you write the book, You Are What You Breathe?
you see, I need you guys to understand this big smile on my face, right? This big smile on my face is that when anyone asks what inspired me or what drove me, what was driven in writing both of the books, and both of them have a special place, and both of them get a bigger smile, right? So the You Are What You Breathe, I like to say, is a lot more personal. That's a personal thing. Now, You Are What You Breathe 365-day inspirational journal was to be a counterpartner of Birthing My Greatness, right? When Birthing My Greatness came out, You Are What You Breathe journal was supposed to have come out. Why did I say that? Is the very thing, it's an accountability partner. Once you touch Birthing My Greatness, it will change your entire perception. It will reposition your mindset. It will change your entire trajectory of your life, where it's holding you accountable for who you are. And then there, it allows you to dialogue and write that into your journal so that you can really truly see, who am I in the inside? So what drove me and what inspired me, or what inspired me to write You Are What You Breathe, is the very thing that I do. I journalize. And I think journaling is very important. It's soul searching, it's reevaluation and examination of who we are. And once we can tackle who we are in the inside, it allows us to be able to address that inner person that is dormanted in the inside of us, that could possibly be self-sabotaging to ourselves, right? To relationships, and relationships can be work relationships, family relationships, personal and intimate relationships. So journaling in the You Are What You Breathe journals is very intimate to me. And I believe that people should do more. And there you would find that person in the inside that that maybe we don't know, right? I'm going to share something with you guys, and this is going to be something amazing, right? When I realized that the journal was necessary, I was sitting in my home. It was right around Valentine's Day. It was on Valentine's Day, as a matter of fact. And this is so crazy. And this is how we say social media identifies people, right? And I was at my office, and I'm sitting at the office, and I'm seeing all these people, all these ladies with, their Valentines, and this is what my husband or significant other brought me. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, How is it that what I would say an attractive woman, myself, Letitia Rivers, another Valentine's Day, I'm alone, right? And my God. And I like to say I'm a pretty reasonable person. I'm pretty I'm pretty logical when it comes to relationship, and that's been through my divorce. I've grown so much. I've been exposed to so much. I've seen where I went wrong, and then now I'm thinking, why is it that I'm alone again? So there we start questioning who we are, right? I come home and then I'm back into that place again. I take out my book, my journal, and I start writing. And in that moment, the things that I wrote in that journal is mind blowing, right? Mind blowing. Who would have ever thought that I would have thought these very thoughts, right? The next day goes by. This is how I realized that we can suppress our very thought that can literally jeopardize or self-sabotage relationships, right? The next day, I completely forgot what I wrote in that book, in that journal. I go back in there the next night when I get off from work and I read that journal, and my mind was blown at who was this person that wrote this. I didn't identify that person. And that was the moment that I had to realize that there was something inside of me that made me write that. That this is what I think about myself. This is what I think about my life in relationship of why. And I had to address that. And when I address that, and that's looking the woman in the mirror, that's the person in the mirror, right? We listen to Michael Jackson's song, and he talked about the man in the mirror. You've got to address the man in the mirror before you can talk about anyone else, right? And once I addressed the man in the mirror is when change began, and that was the breakthrough.
And that's
And
a powerful statement.
it made a better Letitia. It birthed a better Letitia Rivers. And there the thoughts, there it opened up the atmosphere for me to even say, I like me. I'm okay with being with me. Do I need anyone to be my Valentine's? I can be my own Valentine.
When you went back and looked at what you wrote
I'm
in
sorry?
your journal, when you went back and looked at what you wrote in your journal that next day, what did what did you think? Did you come across as being a little lonely? Did it come across to you like you were a little bit upset? How did it come across when you went back and looked in your journal that next day?
Suicidal.
Huh?
Suicidal thought.
Suicidal thoughts?
Yes, Lord. And who thinks that? Who says, I'm okay with not being here anymore? I enjoy life, and I truly believe that I am ready to be with the Lord Jesus Christ, right? I can say that, but do I want to get there any quicker? No. But those thoughts were suicidal thoughts.
And why was that? Because you were alone for Valentine's, or more or less, or you wasn't in a relationship?
It's not even about being alone on that day. It's in general, being alone in general, right? Valentine's Day was like the icing, the tip on the cake of the thought process, right? We're talking, I've been divorced for about 13 years now. And throughout those 13 years, I haven't been in a serious relationship since then. Yeah. So we talk about all of that, like, and then you start thinking, this is where I say social media can be something else for a lot of people, because you don't know what folk are experiencing in those relationships. And what I realize is that I have expectations, and it's okay for you to be patient. It's okay for you to wait. And there is when I realized that God is positioning me for the right man. molding that man for Letitia Rivers, so I don't have to dummy myself or dim my light to brighten another one's light. It's just gonna flow. It's just gonna be easy. And then also, not only that, it also exposed that you have to be okay with being by yourself. Be okay with that. Because once you can be okay with that, now I can give you the desires of your heart.
Right. And we can
So
identify, I can identify with that too as well, you know.
I'm sorry?
Go ahead, Wayne.
No, I was asking, so do your book kind of gives some little secrets or little tidbits to the man, to the future man on, what he should do and how he should act and react? Do you think your book give that a little few secrets away?
Not at all. Not at all. It doesn't give. It basically it lets you know who the real Letitia is.
Okay.
You see, for me writing Birthing My Greatness, no one probably. I get a lot of people say to me, Letitia, do you have children? Letitia, do you do? No one knows that I have a family. I do have a family. I don't speak it, but what it exposes is the authentic Letitia. It exposes who I am. It allows people to come into my life and see that, yeah, this woman has been through something, right? But it surely don't speak about how a man can the small tips and bids about how to capture Letitia, right? No, doesn't talk about that. But I must tell you guys, You Are What You Breathe do have a men's side of it.
That was
right?
going to be my next question to you. Is it a man's side to this book as well?
It's the journals, You Are What You Breathe, but it's the man's version of it. And basically it's giving those inspirational quotes and Bible verses coming from a man's perspective, right? And I don't know if you guys have saw that my apparel line has greatness is she and greatness is he.
I saw that.
You see? Mm-hmm. And those are correlation with the men's journal and the women's journals.
Right.
Yeah.
And Letitia, who were some of the writers and authors that inspired you?
You want to know? Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh! I hope this don't sound in vain, but who inspired me was God.
Okay.
Was my journey. And I do understand the question. The question is looking at an author of whom I've evaluated and just admired along my way. I'm going to tell you, going forth, I wasn't a reader. I'm a good listener, right? And now that I've published 2 books, it exposes me to read other people's books. Right? Yeah. So, and now I'm thinking, who don't read? Reading is key. So I'm just being transparent here. I wasn't a reader. I always like to listen. However, writing Birthing My Greatness exposed me to different authors and other people, inspirational speakers and motivational speakers, which I like to say are mentors in the background for myself. But yeah, I would say that my journey and just being submissive to God, yeah, that encouraged me in my process.
So, and what was one of your favorite books?
I'm sorry?
What was one of your favorite books you ever read? What was one of the best books you ever read besides the Bible?
Can you speak a little louder? I'm sorry.
What was one of your favorite books that you ever read beside the Bible?
Beside the Bible, I'm going to tell you the one book that I love, and it's by William Murphy. William Murphy, which is Prayer and Thoughts. And in that book, it has a whole line, oh, other than the Bible. Goodness gracious, I'm still kind of connecting with the Bible, right? But in that book, it literally keeps me at bay. It keeps me at bay. It has a lot of different scriptures. It has a lot of different confirmations of God. It has a lot of different yeah, it's an awesome book. Awesome book. Awesome book.
I
Awesome
never
book.
heard of
William
that. I
Murphy.
have to look it up. I never heard of William Murphy before. Definitely have
I'm,
to do some research
I'm
on him.
sorry. What did you say, Daryl?
I said I never heard of William Murphy before. I'd have to look him up and do some research on him.
Yeah, William Murphy is he's what you called I would say, I think he's like a reverend. He's a, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
he's awesome, awesome. I think he's in relationship or connection with Tasha Cobbs.
oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Birthing My Greatness, you are what you breathe, and now you're getting ready to come out with your third book, and that is going to be a book for the kids, the children. So, you want to give us a little bit about what you're working on with that book, your third book?
I'm going to tell you this before I get into that, is children, after going through my divorce, why I find the need to invest in our children is after going through my divorce, I realized that adult people can produce and raise damaged children, right? And I'm just being transparent. My kids experience that, right, from the adult actions, and and having to see that and experience that, I realized that our children are our future, and we have to be very, very so careful with how we handle them as children when their minds are impressionable, right? And the even though I wanted to come out with the book for the children long ago, trying to do both of them all at the same time, which is the journals and the children's book, I realized that one of them needed something special, and that's the children's book. Is being able to pour into them and build their self-esteem, and letting them know that they are important. Now, Daryl, don't ask me what the name of that book is, the title of that book, because I haven't gotten that one yet. And and I'm working on that title. I'm working on that title. Whatever it may be, it has to be in correlation with birthing my greatness.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, and where can we find, where can we purchase these books that you're writing at? Do you have a website,
Yes,
or
you
can we
can
find them on
purchase
Amazon?
both. I'm sorry, Daryl.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
You can purchase both books and the apparel on my website at icoachgreatness.com. It's a beautiful website. It has everything on it. It has a lot of my speaking engagement. It has my coaching packages. It has speaking engagements where you can schedule that. It also has the apparel for Greatness is He and Greatness is She on there as well. And once again, that's at icoachgreatness.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I had another question, but it kind of slipped my mind. Wayne, do you have anything else for Letitia?
Yeah, Letitia, what kind of family support do you get as, in your endeavors as a writer?
Oh my gosh. Is that a tough one? I think it's a tough one. You heard that big sigh, right?
Yeah, because I know how tough that can be in every business with dealing with relatives and people.
The support of and going through the process. Oh boy, that's a tough one. Here's why I say that is because I think I had more support of outside people, outside of the family, more so than family. And then we say, even after exposing it to the family, it was still not, the support wasn't there. and it's to be expected. So I don't hold anyone accountable for not supporting. I have gotten enough information along the way, even before going into this, that don't expect family to support you. If you do, that would be your detriment. So in my thoughts, I look for other people. I look for other support up elsewhere, and I didn't focus on the negative. And the negative here is, it doesn't matter, you telling your family and you sharing that journey with them. You're always going to find a family member that going to have something negative to say. And in that, I didn't want to engage in that, because there is a purpose on my life, and there's a purpose in this journey, and that was to stay focused and produce good product. And I knew any distraction with family would be a distraction in the process. So if I say I had more support outside more than inside family, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
100%.
And you're speaking of negatives. Do you read your book reviews? And if you see, like you kind of just explained it just now, if you did read your book reviews, how did you deal with the positive ones and the negative ones?
You know what, Wayne, I don't think that out of the reviews that I've gotten on Amazon and the website,
Right.
of each body that read the book, I haven't heard a negative review.
That's good.
I haven't heard a negative review. If someone said something negative about Birthing My Greatness and You Are What You Breathe, it has not surfaced to me yet. What I've heard is, Letitia, after reading Birthing My Greatness, it held me accountable. I can't go back to that person before, because this has held me accountable for who I am. And their Birthing My Greatness exposes that person who we talk about we don't want to be, but then yet and still we keep going back and back to that same person. However, it's okay to be to go back, but then we have to continue, we have to learn, and we have to be accountable for the things and the actions and the experiences that we take along our way, right? So I haven't heard anything negative about Birthing My Greatness. No one has even come to me and said anything.
And that's good.
Sounds been great.
Because I definitely wanted to know how, just listening to you, I wanted to know, if you did come across something, how did you deal with it, and how did it affect you one way or another? That's good. You haven't had to deal with that.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I completely went past that question, didn't I? So you want to know the thing? One of the chapters in Birthing My Greatness is all criticism is not all criticism is negative. It's
right.
Always a positive. You can pull some positive out of it. And what I do understand is, and before releasing Birthing My Greatness, I had made a pact with God that it does not matter who has, if you don't like the book, it's going to capture the right person, right? And I said to myself, as long as I can be a blessing, Birthing My Greatness can be a blessing to one person, that's good enough for me. Anything else outside of that, I'm not going to entertain it. So guess what, Wayne?
That's a great attitude to have.
If it did, it just says to me that it's not for you. It's not the book for you. Is right. Why we have many thousands and thousands of authors that, hey, listen, at least one book, someone's book can get you to your journey, right? Birthing My Greatness just may not be the book for you. And I'm okay with that. I wouldn't spend not one negative, one ounce of energy on the fact that you have a problem with Birthing My Greatness, because I know that book is ordained by God, right? And there's blessings all in between, from front to back in it. It has sources in there for folk who are suffering with depression, weight loss, identity crisis. It has avenues of where folk can go in and seek help where need be, right? So It wouldn't bother me at all. At all. Not 1 ounce if you said something negative about Birthing My Greatness.
That's
Just
great.
not for you.
That's great. And this is my final question. What did you find was the best way to market your books?
The best way to market my book, and even now we're talking about the present, I truly believe that Birthing My Greatness should be in the churches and in the schools. And if I can get those books in the church, in the schools, that would be my biggest source of marketing. And that's where I've been driven to market Birthing My Greatness. Really, to be honest, I think that that's whom been purchasing is the churches, and the churches, really, not the schools so much, but the church.
Yeah, because in this time of a lot of suicides was going on prior to the pandemic, I would really think that your book really would have been a source of healing or a source of information for someone going through some type of maybe mental illness of depression or something. I would think your book would definitely would have.
It surely would. And you know what, Wayne, I said this to someone the other night, is if I had the right team, it would definitely be a blessing to many, even in this predicament, even in this pandemic. Yes, for sure, for sure.
Well, you have the right team right here. We want to help you promote your book,
That's right.
Letitia. That's why we're here, and we're not looking for anything, from you. We just want to help you promote your book. And I've been following you for months and months when you first came out with Birthing My Greatness, and now you are with You Breathe, and then your third book will be coming out. And we just want to help you put your book out there, and we're going to do it. We're going to put it up. We're going to add it to our YouTube channel, and we're going to put it on our Facebook page, and we hope that you make millions off of your books. And you're doing some good things. You're putting out some good material. And we've been talking to Letitia Rivers. She's the author of Birthing My Greatness. Like I said, You Are What You Breathe, and she'll be coming out with her third children's book. She doesn't have a name for that book. You could find her materials on iCoachGreatness.com. So,
and also you can get it on Amazon too, Dara. I neglect to say that.
In the Amazon, tell us. Okay, Amazon, we can find it on Amazon as well.
Yes. Yes.
Well, that's good. Well,
any websites or anything else for the people to go on and can purchase your book?
I'm sorry?
Do you have a website people can go on and look at your work, or besides Amazon, maybe the website they can purchase your book?
Oh, yes, it's on the website, which is iCoachGreatness.com. Okay. It's there. Yes, yes. And there you have my services as well on the website. Yeah. I want to say this. I am so grateful. I am so grateful for this moment. And I truly believe that exposure is everything. And that has been my block. My stumbling block is really getting the book out there and exposing Birthing My Greatness and You Are What You Breathe. I am so super, super excited to be here with you guys tonight. And I really, really thank you, Dara and Wayne, for having me here. And I truly believe that it's part of the journey, the bridge of getting across, so that Birthing My Greatness can be a major tool to many people going through troubles, going through the storm, and I'm grateful. I'm full with joy right now. Like, it's so much joy inside of me, you guys don't even understand.
Well, you deserve it. You've been working hard, and hard work definitely pays off. And I promise you that I will purchase a book from you, and I will promote your book everywhere I go, and I'll tell people about your website, iCoachGreatness.com, and how to purchase it on Amazon. So, Letitia Rivers, we thank you so very much for coming on the Adams Brothers podcast. We wish you well going forward. We know you're going to continue to put out some good books, and we're going to be here to support you. I want to thank you for coming on this evening.
And you're welcome to come back on anytime.
It's not going to stop. I'm sorry, Wayne.
You're welcome to come back on anytime.
Well, guess what? I'm going to hold you guys on that, and it gets better, right?
Absolutely.
It gets better. So guess what? I am going to hold you on that, Daryl, Wayne. I want another segment on your podcast very soon.
You got it.
We are here for our community here to help promote and empower our community. That's what we're here for. That's what me and Daryl started this podcast for, to help our community, to educate and empower our community. And definitely we think economics is the passport to our future.
This is true.
Helping you get there is whatever it takes. We'll help promote your book. We'll do anything that's necessary to help empower our community.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I will
thank you guys.
I will put your iCoachGreatness.com in the bio on our YouTube channel, and we'll send you the link so we can blast it out to millions of people. And we hope that you make millions and millions of dollars. Congratulations. Keep putting out that good material, and we'll be here anytime you want to come back on the Adams Brothers podcast.
You know what I was just looking at? You guys would look good in that greatness is.
In the gray screen?
Say it again.
You guys
I
have
think
to go on the website and take a look at it.
Well, we will. I promise you I'm going to go on your website, and I'm going to look at some of your material, and I will be making a purchase from your website.
Okay.
Thank you, Letitia. Thank you. Have a good evening, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
You got it. Thank you, guys. Have a beautiful night.
Bye-bye.
You too.
Bye-bye.